welcome to the K to Bram editing suite for Old Folks Racing. Bit of an exciting race too, just needs a bit of explanation before you see the replay. We lost someone to a disqualification, so we ran quali. We lost someone to a disconnect, so we re-ran quali. In the end, we agreed that we'd sort of do a rolling first lap and form back up on the grid and take it from there. That'd have been fantastic, apart from poor old Andy Booth had got no comms, so was absolutely winging what was going on. And I think by the time we started race 2, Kev Allen was probably just a little bit more merry than normal. So we had an interesting start to the race. I'll hand over to the comms box and let Diogo take you through the race.
Thank you, Andy. Great introduction. Welcome to Old Folks Racing PS4. This is round 40. We are again at Willow Springs with the Ginetta G55 Race 1. Kev Allen won, Diogo Silva, followed by Simon Allen, Andy Bramall and Michael Langley, completing the top 5. Qualifying for race 2, or at least the final qualifying, so Andy Booth and Simon Allen on the first row, followed by Andy Bramall, Diogo Silva, with Kev Allen and Scott Davely on the third row. Michael Langley, Stuart Brand and all the others. And here we have to start a really random start, as I think there was a car there that didn't move at all. I think that was Kev Allen. Andy Booth on pole position, of course, had no comms. So, oh no, sorry, this is the formation lap. I apologize. I didn't know that we were going to see the formation lap. So, you probably saw from Andy what happened. So we are going to attempt standing start here. Of course, we are still on the formation lap in the rabbit's ear. Andy Booth, who is here in the picture in the 166, the grey Ginetta, he's on pole, but he's still thinking that we are going to do a rolling start. So let's see how this goes, and I don't think this is going to go very well, as Andy is clearly trying to line everyone up for a rolling start, but in fact it's going to be a standing start. And to top it up, this circuit, which is a very old traditional circuit in the United States, actually had no grid markings whatsoever. So I wonder how the old folks are going to figure out where everyone is. And here is Andy Booth receiving a bit of a love tap from Simon Allen, a bit of a let's go man, hurry up, because we are already late. We already had to do 2 qualifying sessions, and now we are going to attempt to, for the first time in this series, do a formation lap and a start. Of course, other series in project cars use this format quite often, and here is more people in the grass, so even in the formation lap, that was, I think, Phil and someone else in the same livery, which I couldn't quite figure out who it was, as we are now approaching the last corner. So Andy Booth at this point still thinks that we are going to do a rolling start, but in fact all the old folks in the party chat have decided that in fact it's a standing start. So let's see if Andy Booth somehow is going to figure out what's going to happen. Here he comes. He still thinks it's a rolling start. It's a rolling start, but Andy now already understands that, oh no, he's got it. He's going to stop on his, or is he? Because it doesn't seem that he's braking at all. Yes, I think he's figured it out. Let's see if the old folks are going to understand where they should be stopping their cars. Andy Booth has, I think, also the pole position was on the left side. Here comes Andy Booth starting the car with no one else following, and I think, he's figured it out, that he either is a hero with a super hyper car, or else everyone else is actually waiting for Stuart Brand. In this case, he's going to be our official starter. Of course, he's also at the start, so that's perhaps a bit of an advantage, as you now wait for Stuart to say 3, 2, 1, and we go. Andy Booth has made a terrible start. I think he didn't know that Stuart was counting, because he was probably not hearing. Here comes Simon Allen on the first corner, followed by Diogo Silva and Andy Boot in third. He still managed to keep third place, and someone is in the grass or in the sand, and that was Phil, who has made... Oh, and someone is spinning at the back. Someone is spinning. That is Kev Allen. Kev Allen has spun at the rabbit's ear, and that was quite a high-speed spin. Someone is again off the track. That's Stuart Brand and someone else as well. My goodness, this is complete mayhem. After these formation laps, it's cold tires, cold brakes, a lot of inertia, and this is what happens. These cars just can't stop on time for the next corner, as we see battles all throughout the field. Here is Kev Allen. No, that's Michael Langley. Michael Langley here in the number 51 car. He is in fifth, and that was a good start by Michael, but he runs wide. And here comes Scott Davely in the same livery. Michael is on the grass again. He's in the grass in the last corner. Let's see if he can avoid the pit entrance. All sorts of drama and mayhem happening with pretty much everyone. But the top four, I think, because Simon Allen continues to lead. Here is Diogo Silva and Andy Boot battling. I wonder how this is going to end, because Andy has now recovered the momentum and the pace that he has after grabbing pole position. He wants more, and he is off into sand as well. He's on the inside of Diogo. Diogo keeps the position for now. What a great battle here for second place between Diogo Silva in the 55 and Andy Boot in the 166. The great Ginetta. Andy Bramall is a prime spectator there, because he has a first row view to this battle, and he might even benefit from it, because as we all know, Andy Boot and Diogo Silva have a little habit of clashing. For a while they tried to minimize their instincts by choosing the same livery, pretending that they are teammates, but this is not happening anymore. Here's an overtake. That's the 51 of Michael Langley. No, sorry, that's Scott Davely defending from Michael Langley, or is it the other way around? No, that's Michael defending, or in fact overtaking Scott again, grabbing... No, Michael, where's Michael Langley? No, that's not Michael Langley, that's Stuart Brand. I apologize. Stuart Brand has recovered well to sixth. I was getting confused here. Stuart Brand, of course, in the red Ginetta, and Michael Langley. Oh, and Scott has spun. Scott has spun. Scott was in fifth place. He took advantage of Michael Langley's little adventure in the last corner. Here comes Andy Boot again on the inside of that hairpin. Seems to be his preferred overtaking spot, but Diogo is having none of it. None of it, and gives second place. Scott Davely, I was explaining, it was defending from Stuart Brand and just was a little bit too adventurous on turn one. Ended up spinning, ended up in the sand, and Stuart actually is now in fifth place. We haven't seen that in a while, but Stuart making a great race here after a relatively quiet race on race one. But he has a great, actually a great opportunity here to score some big points, and Phil, who is battling currently for the points championship, is stuck in 10th place. So well done to Stuart. He's got a good opportunity here. Jambo in 9th place. He of course chose this combo, so we were expecting a bit more pace out of him. He finished 9th in the first race in that number 16 white and orange, and here is Kev Allen. Kev Allen has had an eventful couple of laps already. He had a very high-speed spin there in the rabbits here, and is now trying to go around Stuart Brand. This is the battle for fifth place in that 195, the yellow car that won for... Oh! And he's off again. He's off. It seems that he was basically turning the wrong way around there. Kev, this was a corner to the left, a left-hander approaching, and he just turned right. I wonder what happened to him, and whether he's had a few beers too many. But Kev Allen, of course, now back to 9th, which I think is a position that we've never seen Kev Allen in any race in the entire championship, and really it's such an unusual position for him to be even outside the top 5, let alone is stuck in 9th place. Let's see what Cavallan can do. This is a relatively short race. It's only 18 minutes or so, but will we still have time for Andy Booth to grab 2nd place? He certainly seems to have more pace than Diogo Silva. He cannot find a way past, because Diogo is actually quite quick where it matters. I think Diogo only really has to defend here after the rabbits here on the approach to this hairpin, and in this particular lap Andy Booth is not even a threat at the moment to Diogo Silva, although they continue to drive very close to one another. Here is Diogo now protecting a little bit of the inside. Here comes Andy making a good run there after the second hairpin into this very tricky left-hander. Let's see if he's got enough speed. It seems that he's going to try and overtake here in the fast part of the circuit. Andy Booth really trying. Diogo is already going to the inside to defend. Andy taking the outside. Can he make a move or not? I don't think he's in the position to do it. I think Diogo is battling for his life there. He's really defending. He wants this 2nd place, and here comes Andy Booth almost hitting the back of Diogo as Diogo hit the brakes there for the last corner. As we now come into the start-finish line, and Andy is really becoming impatient here. He is becoming impatient because he knows that we are already on lap 7. We are already in the second half of this race. Here comes in the third one. Diogo shuts the door on him. Shuts the door on him and keeps that 2nd place. He is not losing touch with Simon Allen that much. It's only a couple of seconds, and Simon is quite prone to these little mistakes. I wonder if this battle could very easily become the battle for the lead. Here comes Andy Booth now. He's not in a position to overtake now in the hairpin as we continue. And Diogo has made a mistake. Diogo has made a mistake, and then he goes through. Diogo has made a mistake. There was a little bump there. I think he just unsettled the car, and really Diogo just made that little mistake that just is the difference between being in 2nd place or being in 3rd. And now let's see if Andy Booth, with the great pace that he has shown so far in this circuit with this car combo, if he can challenge for the lead. Simon Allen is now 2.5 seconds ahead of that pair. Andy Booth now in 2nd. Here comes Cavallan, who is still in 8th place. He's really struggling in the 2nd race, having won the 1st. And this is completely unusual. He's now targeting 7th place, which could make quite an interesting statistic here, because Cavallan is, I think, one of only 2 drivers in the top 15 that has not finished in 7th place in any race. Everyone else pretty much has at least one 7th place. Cavallan, I think, is really trying hard to correct that statistic, because he wants, it seems that he's not going to have the pace to have anything else but a 7th place today. He's currently in 8th. Scott Davely is in 7th. Michael Langley is in 6th. And Stuart Brett holding very nicely there in a top 5 position that we haven't seen since Daytona, where he really excels. Stuart, of course, really likes to traveling to the US and driving there. Here comes Scott Davely. He's now has his mirrors full of the yellow machine of Cavallan. He runs wide there at the 2nd hairpin, and Cav really is trying a little bit too hard, but now Scott makes a mistake. Scott makes a mistake, and Cav is going for it. Cav is going for it, and 7th place. Here comes Cavallan. Can he get the job done? I think he's got the job done. Yes, he has. He's got to shut the door now on Scott. He's got to shut the door on Scott and keep that 7th place into the last corner. We're already on lap 9 out of 12. It's a very short race here. And I wonder if Cavallan is going to have the chance to basically keep that 7th place, or if he's going to try to challenge Michael Langley. Diogo Silva, in the meantime, continues to actually be quite close to Andy Booth. We were expecting, or half expecting, Andy to really run away from him, because Andy has had, I think, the better package, the better pace here in Willow Springs over this particular round. But Diogo is really staying in touch quite nicely, and I wonder if this battle is over. It doesn't seem to be over at all, because Diogo is actually only a couple of tenths behind Andy, and really already in the slipstreaming zone on some of the fast areas of this circuit. I wonder if Andy really damaged his tires too much in the first few laps, and now he's struggling for tire grip, and Diogo, who is generally perhaps a softer driver on the tires, is going to take advantage of that, because really I don't think this battle is over at all. But I think here comes Andy Boot now running wide in turn 1. Andy Boot running wide in turn 1. Here comes Cavallen now on Stuart Brand, I think. Yes, Cavallen is in 6th place now because he's got the job done in turn 1. Kev recovering quite nicely. He is already in 6th, and Michael Langley, who's in 5th now. Oh, and that's because Stuart Brand has lost time. Stuart Brand was actually in 5th place. We haven't got that on camera, but Stuart must have made some sort of mistake, because Michael Langley and now Kev Allen have overtaken him, and he's dropped from 5th to 7th in a matter of a few corners, as Kev now has his hands full of Michael Langley. Michael Langley, the rookie, of course, joining this series quite late this season, but making a good impression. And here comes Kev Allen again, and Stuart almost falling here. It looks like follow the leader there. Whatever Andy does is probably, and then someone is in the background. Someone in the background, that's Scott Davely. Scott Davely has gone into the depths of the Willow Springs Desert, and he is completely stuck on it. He's probably going to make it fine. He's probably going to continue the race in 8th place, because Phil is now actually only a couple of seconds behind. And here comes Diogo Silva. Diogo Silva now on lap 11. He's really lining up his move. So far, he hasn't had an obvious opportunity. And here comes Todd Antonio is being lapped. Todd Antonio is being lapped, and he stays well out of the racing line. Well done to Todd for not affecting this battle. He is in 11th. Jamu is now in 10th place, which is a bit disappointing for him, really. Todd is still on the track, but he's losing a little bit of time. Diogo Silva, in the meantime, has lost a bit of touch with Andy Booth, and I think this is going to be it, because we are about to enter the last lap of the race. Simon Allen has had a very quiet race in the lead. He hasn't made any mistakes yet, although there's still one more lap to go. As Simon Allen enters the last lap. Simon Allen enters the last lap, followed by Andy Wood and Diogo Silva, as the top 3 are separated by around 2 seconds. But can anyone make a move here? I think Simon will be okay. He's got enough of an advantage over Andy Boots, but Diogo Silva, can he still try something or not? Can he still make an attempt, a desperate attempt to regain that 2nd place in this last lap? He's got a few chances to do so, but not many. As we now approach the first hairpin, here comes and then he has made a mistake there. And he has made a mistake there. I must confess, I got completely confused by the timing screen, because this race now, of course, has 13 laps, because one of them was the formation lap, so we are not yet on the final lap. My apologies, but these are quite extraordinary times on so many dimensions, and Old Fox Racing are not the exception, as we had one disconnection and one disqualification during qualifying that have made these Old Folks really the experts of qualifying here, because they run so many sessions that by the end they had so much practice that I don't know how we saw so many spins on the first lap of the race. As we are now actually on the last lap, which will be lap 13. Kev Allen really hasn't recovered any ground whatsoever in that 5th place, and here comes, and there's a spin, that is Stuart Brand. Stuart Brand has spun on the entry of the last lap, and this has made Michael Langley in 5th place, Kev Allen in 6th, as we see now Diogo Silva and Andy Wood. Can Diogo do something about it? He's going to try on the outside of the hairpin. He's going to go to the outside of the hairpin. Not quite. Not quite, but he's really glued to Andy's rear end. Can he do something over this last section? He's got a few corners to go. Will he try a desperate lunge into the last corner? Will we see a crash? Here they come. Simon Allen to take the checkered flag, and here comes who's gonna be second. Is it Andy Boot or Diogo Silva? Andy Boot trying to defend. Here comes Diogo. No! Diogo got out of it, otherwise they would have tangled. Here comes into the last corner as they are completely almost side by side. Diogo trying a last attempt. Oh, it doesn't work. And Andy Boots gets second place by a few car lengths, a tenth of a second in the end. Danny Bramall, good race for fourth. Michael Langley again, very impressive. He's collecting top fives, and he's showing that he can definitely be a factor in Old Folks Racing as he finishes fifth. Kev Allen, who's got, the signs of an eventful race in his Ginetta. That was a hard race for the car. In sixth place, Stuart after such a good race in seventh. Still good result for him. Scott Davely, quite an eventful race as well, into the desert at some point, finishes in eighth. Ninth, Upit Jambo. And Phil will finish in 10th place. Whoa! He's decided to do a bit of here comes Todd Antonio, who's also decided to run wide in the last corner, but he will be lapped 11th, and no points for Todd today, unfortunately. Here are the results of both races. Kev Allen and Simon Allen both scoring their 11th wins of the season, 22 victories out of 40. The Allens are always at the front, but only have won half of the races. Can we see the points table, please? Here it is. 688 for Simon Allen, 635 for Simon Allen. Andy Booth and Diogo Silva continue to battle for thirds. See you next week. You are watching Old Folks Racing PS4. Thank you very much.